Hello beautiful people, my name is Kelly and welcome to my channel, Kelly Collins Wellness. Today we're going to talk about yoga poses that will help relieve your lower back pain. Now if you're experiencing lower back pain, you're not alone. A huge part of the population now experiences lower back pain. And in large part, this is due to the amount of time that we spend sitting. You could have had a lower back pain injury, but most likely it is lifestyle related. And so many of us spend our days sitting at our desks, typing away at our computers, or sitting in the car, driving from point A to point B to point C to point D. So because of this, our hip flexors get really tight. And our hip flexors actually attach to our spine. So when those muscles get tight, they pull on the lower back vertebrae, and that causes tension and pain. And then our deep core muscles are also left fighting, right, to try and stabilize our spine, which is being pulled out of place. And unfortunately, if we live a really sedentary lifestyle, unless we make sure that we're getting ourselves the proper exercise and core strengthening on a regular basis, then these deep stabilizer muscles are weak, which causes even bigger problems. So strengthening the core is really important. I'll be doing a video on that as well. You can also refer to my 8-minute core sculpting video. I'll link in the notes below. But for today, we're going to focus on the stretches that really help to lengthen the hip flexors back out, to also lengthen out the outer hip muscles that get tight, the hamstrings, and to just give our lower back some space and an opportunity to release from that tension that is constantly being put upon the lower back. So we're going to start with a child's pose today. Super simple. So you're going to start by making your way onto your hands and knees. Bring your big toes to touch and your knees out nice and wide, and sit your hips back on your heels. From there, walk your hands forward and melt your forehead to the ground. Relax your forearms down. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And an open mouth exhale. And allow yourself to relax here. Imagine yourself taking deep, expansive breaths into the lower back. Feel the lower back expanding, stretching. When you exhale, just allow your body to melt down towards the earth. We'll do that for 8 breaths. When you're ready, you'll lift your head up, rise up to your hands and knees, come to a tabletop position. We're going to take a few rounds of cat-cow, and this is going to teach you the role that your pelvis plays in your lower back so that you can be really conscious of the positioning of your pelvis when you're seated. So I first want you to find a neutral pelvis. So my back's not arched, it's not rounded, my pelvis is just neutral. So there's a slight curve in the lower back. And then I'm gonna draw my navel up and in towards my spine and knit the ribs in. and spread my fingers nice and wide. So this is a neutral pelvis. Then we'll take a cow pose. So tilt your tailbone up, lower your belly down, and then press your heart forward. And in this position, we are in an anterior pelvic tilt. And this is the position that many of us end up in from sitting and getting tight hip flexors. Exhale, you're gonna take a cat. So tilt your tailbone down, round your spine, and stretch the back. Breathe into the lower back. And this allows the lower back to open up. So we'll do that a few times. So inhale, go through your neutral pelvic position, go into your cow pose, tilt your tailbone up, press your heart forward, stretch into the chest. That also gets really tight from sitting, so it's good for that. Exhale, cow, round your spine, tilt your tailbone down. 3 more. Take an inhale to find a neutral spine. Good, and then we're going to take it to our next pose from here, a runner's lunge. So just bring your knees together. Take your right foot, pick it up, and step your right foot outside of your right hand. And then you're going to want to wiggle that foot forward so that the ankle is actually in front of the knee. And now you're going to press the hips down and forward, draw the belly button up in it again, so you can see here. And then you'll either stay up on the hands or you can lower down to your forearms. If the hip flexors are really tight, this probably won't be accessible. So you can just go down to 1, stay up on the palms, or use a block underneath your forearms. And keep your neck nice and straight, your shoulders back, and we'll stay here for 8 breaths. If it feels good, you're welcome to roll the foot open. And so you're going to get into the inner thigh a little bit more. Okay, you should be a few breaths in, so let's take 5 more together, nice and slow. And same thing as in our child's pose, use your breath and use visualization to visualize that breath coming into your hips and expanding. Releasing the tightness from the hip flexors, releasing the tightness from your outer hip muscles and your lower back. If you're on the forearms, you'll come up to the palms. Take your right leg back, and then we'll just switch it out. So step your left foot outside of the left hand, heel toe the foot forward so the ankle is in front of the knee. And draw the belly in, engage your abs, and then stay on the palms or lower to 1 or both forearms. And to roll the foot open. Now remember, you want to honor the differences in the sides of your body. You will always have a stronger side or a tighter side or a more balanced side. So if you can't go as deep on one side, that is okay. That's totally normal. And take 4 more breaths. Come up to your palms. And then you'll gently release, just bring that left knee back and come to your tabletop position. All right, so I have my guest here, Coco, teaching you how to relax, teaching you how to chill out so your back doesn't hurt. Okay, but next we're gonna take it to our pigeon pose. Hi, Coco. So you're gonna take your right shin forward. What you can do is come to a plank position. take your right shin forward. And you want the right knee right behind the right wrist. And you want the foot flexed. So the foot doesn't, the shin, people often think the shin has to be going across the top of the mat, but actually that's okay, it doesn't need to be. You just wanna make sure the toes are active and flexed. So when you're ready, you can stay up on the hands if this feels pretty intense. Otherwise you can lower down to your forearms or even all the way down to your forehead. And wherever you choose to go, you're gonna take a big breath in and out. And just like with the other stretches, we're gonna stay here for 8 slow breaths. Closing your eyes, visualizing that expansion. Feeling the outer hips all the way up into the lower back. Opening, releasing, breathing and filling them with that expansive breath. Exhaling and letting go of physical tension or even emotional and mental tension that you may be holding in your hips. Let's take 2 more breaths. Now when you're ready to release, slowly rise up to your palms. Tuck your back toes under and kick that right leg, shake it out. And then just come back to your plank position and take the left shin forward. And same thing as the other side. So lining up that left knee behind the wrist, flexing your toes, pointing your right toes straight back, and then lifting your heart, breathing in. And then staying up on the palms or lowering to your forearms or all the way to your head, wherever you went to on the other side. Honoring the differences in the sides, knowing that it may be a little bit tighter and that's okay. Adjusting as you need to, not forcing it into the same exact position. And coming back to the breath. So inhaling, visualizing that breath filling up the outer hips and the lower back. Expanding and stretching. And as you exhale, letting that tension go, letting go of that physical tension that resides in the lower back. But also letting go of any stress or mental tension that you may be holding on to. Because remember, this mental tension does manifest itself in the body and can actually cause pain. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then we'll rise up to the palms. And to come out of this side, we're going to shift onto the hips, sweep the legs around. You can shake out the legs for a moment. And then we're going to take butterfly. So bring the soles of the feet together, open the knees up nice and wide. Take your hands onto your ankles and sit up really tall. Press your chest forward, squeeze your shoulders down your back. Tilt your chin down slightly so the neck is long. And start to tilt your tailbone back. So think of that anterior pelvic tilt, that cow pose that we talked about. And from there, you're going to pull yourself forward to fold. Now, the closer your heels are to your body, the harder the stretch is going to be. So if your lower back and your hips are really tight, keep the heels a little bit further. So you're going to fold yourself forward, keep the neck nice and long, and then you can bring the hands to the ground if they reach. Keep the spine long, keep tilting the tailbone back, breathing in, lengthening. Exhale, folding by hinging at the hips. So notice my back isn't rounding, my spine is staying straight, and that motion is in the hips. Take about 5 more breaths. Maybe your forearms get a little closer to the ground. Let your head hang, slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time and sit up nice and tall. So for the last one today, there's many yoga poses you can do that will help release your lower back. But for today, the last one we're gonna do is a gentle supine twist. So you're gonna take your hands to your outer thighs, close your knees up like a book, and slowly begin to lay down on your back. And take a moment here, bring your knees together, separate your feet out nice and wide, and just take your palms onto your belly and allow the spine to reset. This pose right here, broken bridge, it also just helps to open up the lower back. So this is always a good way to lay if your lower back is feeling tight. So knees together, feet out wide. This creates space in the lower back. And we're gonna hug our knees into our chest. Give them a little squeeze. And then cactus your arms, and you'll take a breath in. Parallel your shins to your mat, and on your exhale, you're gonna lower your knees to the left. Try and keep your right shoulder down. Look up or over your right shoulder. And if you want more, the left hand can come to the outer right thigh. Now, if your lower back is really tight and the knees are separated, you can put a pillow or a yoga block between your thighs to give your lower back that extra support. So remember, all of our bodies are different. We all need different things. All of these poses are more stretchy poses. So you should feel a nice, feel-good stretch when you do these. If you feel sharp pain, you know you want to come out of it. You know you want to switch it up and tweak it, because that's not what you want to feel. Close your eyes, breathing deeply here for 8 breaths. And take about 2 more together. We'll take an inhale to roll onto your back, hug your knees into your chest. You can rock side to side or draw little circles across the sky with your knees. Go both directions. And then we'll just switch it out. So parallel your shins, cactus your arms. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, lower your knees to the right. Same thing, keeping that left shoulder close to the earth. You can look up or over your left shoulder and then close your eyes and just breathe. Now inhale to roll back onto your back, hug your knees into your chest. You can take that broken bridge one more time, feet wide, knees together. Just allow the lower back to open up and create some space. You can stay here as long as you'd like. And when you're ready, you're all done. Thank you for joining me today. Comment below, let me know how these yoga poses worked for you. And follow me on Instagram at Kelly Collins Wellness to get daily wellness tips, tricks, and inspiration. And also make sure to click subscribe. You'll get notified every week when I post a new video. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.